Lesson 29. Burnout and discouragement. It's not all about self-discipline. It was one of those days when I felt too exhausted to go to the gym, but went anyway. After a demanding workout, I returned home with legs that felt like huge stones and a tense, aching back. I called a friend and we went to a sauna. I thought it would help me relax and recover from my workout. Not this time. After spending 10 minutes in a hot, dry sauna, I immersed for a few minutes in a pool of ice-cold water, as I always did. Suddenly, I felt something was wrong. My vision blurred and I became dizzy. I ignored these symptoms. I thought they would quickly pass. But they didn't. A few minutes later, I realized that if I didn't leave the pool right away, I would faint. With the world spinning around me, I climbed the pool ladder. Leaning against the wall, I barely made a few shaky steps before I quickly plumped down on the floor to avoid a fall. I suffered from the most uncomfortable vertigo and nausea in my life for about an hour before I could even go to the locker room. It took me another 30 minutes of sitting in the car before I was ready to drive, and another few hours of sleep at home before I finally felt well again. The next day, I woke up with a sore throat, painful joints, and full body exhaustion. I was sick for a few days, unable to do anything, let alone go to the gym. It would be a few months before I would be brave enough to go to the sauna again. To this day, I still don't feel comfortable in a sauna and rarely visit it. I have since learned my lesson that nobody is indestructible. My obsession with self-discipline went too far. I not only ignored the first signal by going to the gym when I felt extremely exhausted, but the second one as well, not immediately leaving the ice-cold pool when something felt wrong, deluding myself I was too tough for it. Now I pay more attention to my body and give myself regular breaks from workouts. I also no longer play too aggressively with extreme temperatures. I still challenge myself, but prioritize safety and sustainability over everything else. If you're anything like me, you may feel tempted to think you can withstand much more than a regular person just because you're interested in self-discipline and personal development. But as helpful as mental toughness is, it doesn't mean you should cross all the limits and do things that endanger your health or your life. Deliberately putting yourself into uncomfortable situations is helpful, but don't forget it shouldn't become unbearable. Every exercise in this course is meant to be practiced often, but not when your body is giving you obvious signals it can't take more. The same applies to your mental strength. There's a sweet spot where you stretch your comfort zone to such an extent that you feel challenged, but not too threatened or frustrated. Repeatedly going past the bearable level of discomfort can result in diminished effectiveness and negative outcomes that work against you. Hardcore workaholics are proud to work 70 or more hours a week and think they're so extremely self-disciplined and tough, everybody should clap their hands when they see them. In fact, what they do is the total opposite of smart. Research has proven that someone who works 70 hours produces nothing more with those extra 15 hours than a person working 55 hours a week. I used to follow a routine of writing 3,000 words every single day. I stuck to it for a couple of months, feeling proud of my ability to write so much every single day. Then one day, my willpower was gone, replaced by frustration and overwhelming reluctance to write even a single word. Nothing but taking a long break would help me get back to writing. If I started with writing 1,000 words a day, and then gradually increased my word count until it felt challenging, but still not too demanding, I would probably have never experienced such a burnout. And if I could only write 1,500 words a day, my routine would be more sustainable and thus more effective in the long term. Self-discipline isn't built overnight. If you want to become mentally tougher and more in control over your temptations, play the long game and prioritize sustainability over quick results. If you want to introduce more discomfort in your life to toughen up and develop self-discipline, remember that it's about gradual and repeated sustainable exposure to a stressor, not driving yourself to the ground over and over again. Without proper rest, you won't master new skills quickly, recover enough to have another workout, or stick to your routine for more than a few months. Each time you set a new daily routine or goal you'd like to achieve, don't forget to schedule break times. It can be 1 or 2 days a week when you don't practice at all, regular cheat days to have a psychological break from the diet, a day or 2 of guilt-free laziness when working on a business, or 2 weeks of vacation each year.